4-0, Team Teal. I like the sound of that. They're 6-5 on the road now. I can't explain it. It's a multifaceted conversation. It really is a double-edged sword. Struggling mightily at home. What are they? 2-8-4, I want to say. Let me check my stats here. I want to be accurate for you. It's been a rough go of it for the Sharks on home ice. 2-8-4 at SAP Center versus now 6-5 on the road this year. They score first. They score 93 seconds into the game. That 1-0 lead holds, even though Barabanov hit a post, even though there was a Canadiens goal that was disallowed thanks to an interference call right before the puck crossed the line. So 1-0 into the third period. Sharks score 3 there. And the craziest thing is all the penalties they took to end the second period. Lindblom with a slash. VL 2 minutes for hooking. Timo tripping. Magna threw one over the glass. Delay of game. So 4 minor penalties in a row. Montreal started off their third period in a 5-on-3 situation. And it was like the kill gave the Sharks that momentum. A lot of times your power play will influence a goal after the man advantage. So it's a power play influence goal. For the Sharks kill to be what it is, almost like no surprise that being on the penalty kill, exhausting the opponent, not letting them get many shots or a goal, obviously, like gets the Sharks going. And tonight, whether you believe that or not, I mean, it was 2:29, less than a minute after the 5-on-3 and then the ultimate Habs power play ended. Hurdle scores on that tip on a little bank shot. And then Benning up the ice to Logan Couture for Logan's 13th goal of the season. And we talk a lot about the November that Erik Karlsson has had. Oh, Erik Karlsson didn't score tonight? What kind of game is that? In fact, we'll look at the stats here just a second. Let me pull this up. Karlsson did not score a point tonight, did not register a point tonight. But for Logan Couture now, goals in 6 of his last 7 games. He's been having a tremendous month of November. Sharks with 24 shots on net in this game. But as you can see here from the event summary page, look at the block shots column. It's right here where my mouse is. Benning with 3. Bonino with 5. Megna with 3. Logan had a pair of block shots. Pickles blocked 4. Cicek had 2. And it all adds up to 28 blocked shots for the San Jose Sharks. 28 block shots versus 24 shots on goal. They blocked more shots tonight. They stepped in front of more shots than they actually took, and they still won the game. So I wanted to point that out. I also wanted to point this out right here, and I just detailed it, the buffet of penalties and infractions that the Sharks took there in the second period. Luckily, look, they cleaned it up in the third. No penalties in the third period. Obviously, Montreal took 2 in a row there back-to-back to create a quick 5-on-3 for San Jose. If you're looking at unfortunate parts, the Sharks could have scored another first period goal, could have widened their margin, could have made the lead a little bit more comfortable, and the power play not converting tonight for San Jose. On a handful of chances, that's probably not disappointing, but you would have liked that to be different. On the other side, look at all the penalties they took, and Montreal didn't get anything out of it. So double-edged sword for sure on that one. Kaapo Kähkönen, so happy for him. 3rd career shutout in the NHL. It's been 51 starts since the last time he pitched a shutout. So to get that feeling again and to get that second start in a row, for him, be a good one, I think that's important because he has not really got the sustained, and when I say back-to-back opportunities, I mean in back-to-back games, not on back-to-back nights. I mean consecutive games. That's probably the best way to say it. Just looking at Kähkönen's last couple games here, and there were some frustrating outings for him. I mean, he had the really good one against Ottawa, November 21st, 37 stops, and he only allowed 1 goal to the Sens. If I remember correctly, that was really early in the game. Locked it down the rest of the way. Then against Seattle on the road, he makes 19 stops, but he allows 7 en route to the Kraken scoring 8 on the Sharks that night. Just a total unraveling. Obviously one he wants back, but then the next time out, 4 days later against Van on home ice, 16 saves, so they didn't test him a bunch, but he still allowed 4 goals. So to finally get some consistent opportunity, to now make this statement tonight, pitching a shutout, I'm very excited for Kaapo Kähkönen. And look, I don't know what happens tomorrow. I don't know where Reimer's at, health-wise. Aaron Dell is obviously the well-qualified backup, so we'll see what San Jose does tomorrow. And that's what also makes this road trip a bit interesting from not only the energy and fatigue perspective, but also the goaltending perspective, because it's very unlikely that you're going to get, the same goalie to start in both back-to-back games, or in one set of back-to-back games, being that the Sharks play here, Tuesday, Wednesday, then off Thursday, Friday, but then they play again on Saturday and Sunday. Sharks now 8-13-4. 5 of their 8 wins have come in regulation. And I think there is something to all of these. Look, the 2 points are the 2 points. Even if you get it 3-on-3, or even if you get it in the shootout, I don't know. I don't know if I always feel the same about it, but there is something even more rewarding when you beat the opponent in regulation. Excuse me. That's something the Sharks, they started off with that ratio not being great. It was more overtime and shootout wins, and then all of a sudden now they finally get some regulation wins. So I'm still wanting to bank these nights like this, where you did it in 60 minutes and it wasn't a 3-on-3 or it wasn't a skills competition to end it. I'll take them all, but these are definitely more rewarding. 28 stops for Kähkönen. That's now 7 straight wins by the Sharks over Montreal at Bell Center. This is one of those ownage things. And I don't know if there's a reason for it or why it's happening like that. I also want to say, wasn't there a similar scenario with the Washington Capitals? Games Washington had played at SAP Center, which I think this streak finally broke maybe last year, or did it break in 2019? But the Caps had not won since 1999 at SAP Center. I think it was Washington. One of those rare, and is that right though? Because all the OV years, I think it's correct. The Caps had, I want to say it was the Caps, and I want to say it was 99, that they had just never won at the Tank. No, wasn't Buffalo. And I know somebody out there knows the answer and is screaming at me right now. Anyway, but it's one of those ownage type situations where, look, Montreal's had really good teams. And I know that they didn't, the Sharks didn't play there for the full 2021 season. But to think that San Jose, has won their last 7 straight against always a competitive Montreal team, it's kind of interesting how that works. First shutout for Kaapo Kähkönen as a member of the Sharks. And again, you're just looking for some momentum to build, to ride on. Even if Dell plays out of his mind tomorrow, or James Reimer comes back right around the corner, you want this for Kaapo to get some traction here. You want this to be something he can build on. I don't know what the rest of this season brings in terms of Reimer's health, or maybe James Reimer as a trade piece. I hate doing that, by the way. I hate having this conversation, but possibly, you don't know how the goalie situation is going to shake out. It might look different. So you want Kähkönen to be confident, positioned well. You want him to have a little juice.